Welcome to our very first episode, Artist Spotlight for Face Paint It Anyway. We have an incredible guest, the amazing body painter, Shannon Holt. She's here to reveal what drives her body painting designs, her favorite moments in painting, the trickiest challenges, and advice for anyone ready to go bold. So let's dive in.
Making sure that the model is comfortable is going to be the very most important. And next to that is double checking and making sure, if that model is your client, that it's understood what they want you to do, what is expected of you. Reiterate what I understand that the model wants for her body painting. So I'll usually say somebody wants something that is just not going to look great on their figure. I'll say, are you open to suggestions that may flatter your shape better? Are you firm about this idea? Are you sure about this idea? Or are you open to other ideas? And sometimes they'll say, what are your other ideas? And I'll say, well, what I think will flatter your figure better is blah, right? Because you don't want to paint your model and then have them get in front of the mirror and then all of a sudden be self-conscious because the problem area they were complaining about earlier is not covered up or is not shaded in a particular way that may flatter them more, if that makes sense. My favorite part of painting this design is that I can just take a deep breath and let it flow. It doesn't have to be perfectly symmetrical on both sides. It just needs to have balance. So I know I can add a little more on one side, but it's more difficult to take away black. So keep that in mind. There's more. But I can just take a deep breath and then it's like an airplane taking off. You just do it. Just go where your hand wants to flow. And it's all about flattering, accentuating the curve with the roundness. Another tricky thing is, again, about model comfortability. So you want to paint your model with their back to the audience. And I think that also for someone who's very shy, I like to bring a little towel with me, or usually I'll tell them to bring a button-down shirt if they're shy. That way we can put the pasties on one boob at a time. And then you've got a lady in a shirt that's open in a bra with pasties on. I've even had situations where the person is so scared that they just won't do that. But I'm there to make money. And I'm there to paint people and make people feel beautiful. And they don't know how beautiful they're going to feel until after it's done. So I'll take a little paint into the bathroom or into the dressing room, put the pasties on there, and put a little paint over them, and then boom. You can only paint the willing. Just like you're not going to paint a screaming child, right? Even though parents sometimes might insist that their child be painted, you can only paint the willing. Here's another tricky thing in body painting: political differences. I don't like talking politics in general, but I do paint at some events where people are very political and very outspoken and they want to say about what they believe, and a lot of times the opposite of how I feel. But it's not the place to discuss differences. It's the place to get the paint done. So if someone is overly political and the person is a man, I use the phrase, I'm feeling kind of funny. And then the man will say, why do you feel funny? And I'll just say, I don't know. I just feel that way. And 9 times out of 10, the political talk stops. So that's helpful. You can try that in the field. Here's another tricky thing in body painting. I feel like there's no reason why a painter should have to grit their teeth through a paint job, because you're not going to do your best job when you're just trying to hurry up and get them done. Just hurry up and get it done. When your body paint takes a little more time and you want to make sure the work looks great on the person. So if it is a great place to talk, a lot of people open up about their traumas when they're nude or semi-nude because they feel vulnerable when they don't have clothes on. And it's when you're going to bed with someone, sometimes you feel like, oh, I can be more open now because I don't have clothes on. It's kind of similar to that, I think. And so a lot of stuff can come out, a lot of traumatic stuff. And it's important that you don't give advice unless you're asked for advice. And a phrase that I like to use is, are you looking for support or suggestions? That way you're not overstepping by saying, well, I think you should do this or this. A lot of times people are just looking for support, in which case you just go and you empathize with their situation. You show compassion. You're not there to tell them what they should do. What advice would I give artists who are afraid to do bold designs? My advice is to paint on canvas or paper and just be splashy and be daring and be not afraid to make a big, bold black mark on paper first or on canvas first. Canvas on an easel is the best if you want to imitate someone standing in front of you, and standing and then swinging your arm, making the paint, making the gesture, making the marks on the picture plane. If you do that 100 times, you're going to go into your body painting pretty much fearless. That being said, I don't have to erase very much on body painting, but face painting, sometimes I do erase. But on body painting, I can usually find a way to cover up something unless it's black. Then I have to paint out what I've painted black with more black, or else have to erasing, which I don't like to erase because it takes time. A last advice, if you're scared to try things, is paint some big stuff. I thought of one more thing that can make a huge difference in your paint job is the placement of the person's personal items and drink. People will come to you with alcoholic beverage a lot of times, and then also their stuff, their sunglasses, their purse, their clothes that they took off. So you want to always have a place on your table that's away from your airbrushes and paints where they can put their things. The last thing you want to do is dump over their margarita all over their shirt. And bring a towel to tuck into their top of their jeans or pants, or paper towel to tuck into the front of their bottoms, so that if you drop paint, you're not dropping it on their sandals, toes, pant, or anything else. You want to protect the clothing and person that you're painting. Good luck. I'm so psyched to see what you create.
If you enjoyed this, follow along for more and let me know what you think in the comments. Be bold and face paint it anyway.